Chris, did you ever play past the junior varsity level of basketball?
Well, I got asked to leave the varsity team. So, yes, I did play varsity basketball, but I got asked to leave.
And why did you get asked to leave?
Creative differences with the coach.
And what kind of creative differences?
He thought that I was probably a little bit better at football, and they were like, we don't want to risk you getting hurt and taking your time, so we need to get you out to run track and play football. So they said it's probably the best thing for you.
DC ain't even make JVT. I love it.
I 100% did, and I was asked to leave. And, there's a lot of people out there that know why and that can stay. It's not something we need to dig up.
It was fighting was involved, if I'm not mistaken, correct? You beat somebody. Basically, you bullied somebody.
I was a lover, not a fighter, and I have the daughter to prove it, So
Welcome to Big B Daily. No frauds allowed.
What is going on, everybody? What is happening? Welcome back to Big B Daily. This is your man, Big B. What's going on? We're live on TikTok. What's going on, TikTok? Good Friday. We're live on YouTube. What is happening, YouTube? Appreciate everybody being here, man. We got a lot to cover today. Friday before the Final Four. Obviously, we're going to talk about the Final Four previews, predictions. We're also going to talk about, does ESPN, do they need Caitlin Clark to win? Do they need her to win for these ratings? We'll see. We'll see what you guys think. And then the top 5 NFL cornerbacks of all time. We'll get to all of that and more today. Follow along with the show. We appreciate everybody being here. Again, if you're on TikTok, continue to tap the screen. We need to get at least 5,000 likes and at least 30 new follows. So if you're in here, please give us a follow. And then while you're at it, click on the link in the bio. Come on over and subscribe to Big B Sports Talk on YouTube. Come join the live. Come subscribe. A lot more content over there. Interviews, podcasts, all of that good stuff. You get access to Hot Soup Fantasy Football, which pretty soon, fantasy football, as we know, the draft coming up, they're going to be firing stuff back up again. So LTB Sports, just a ton more content, breakouts from this show, other shows that you will not get on TikTok. So come on over and subscribe. And again, if you guys like what we are doing, man, and you want to support the channel, there's a plethora of ways. Obviously, you can like, follow, subscribe, share the live if you're on TikTok. There's a tip jar in TikTok that you can click on with my bio. Literally just click on it. Boom, you're right there. Any gifts, super chats, which all y'all can control the conversation if you're on YouTube. By sending a super chat, you get right to the top and your question or statement gets said immediately on the show. We appreciate everybody being here. Thank you, Alvarez, for the gifts. We appreciate it. Let's go. So first thing, the Final Four, man. What are we doing? So Final Four preview this weekend, men's and women. Women are tonight. Men are on Saturday. It's almost a little bittersweet for me. It's a little bittersweet. The reason being is because I love March Madness, and the Final Four means that it's coming to an end. It means that it is just about over. UConn. And let's just start with the women. Let's start with the women since that's tonight. Look, South Carolina is going to win their game against NC State. They're just better. I don't think it's going to just be a walkover, pushover type of game. I think it's going to be a close game, but I think South Carolina wins that. I think they're just too physical inside, and they have more athletes. I shouldn't say better. They just have more, and they're going to be able to win that game. On the flip side, I think UConn, but if you remember from the very beginning of the tournament, I said UConn was going to win the women's tournament. So I thought they were underseeded based on what happened early in the season when Paige Beckers was still trying to recover and get back into playing shape, get back into rhythm, get back into her form. Well, she got there. and she is dominant. She is dominant. So we appreciate it. I just think that I think UConn's going to end up winning this whole thing. I think UConn is going to win the whole thing. Like I said it at the very beginning of the women's tournament. I thought they got underseeded, a 3 seed. I thought that was low. They were in an easiest bracket. I thought that USC shouldn't have been a number 1 seed to begin with. We love Juju. Don't get me wrong. Juju is that woman. But they shouldn't have been a 1 seed. UConn was better than them. That played out. And here we are. So South Carolina and UConn win tonight. UConn wins the national championship, in my opinion. On the men's side, I don't know, man. Can anybody beat UConn? Because I don't think they can. I don't think anybody can beat UConn. I really, really don't. I think what UConn has going on, they're going to beat everybody. I mean, I know that stinks, but it is what it is. Look, Alabama they have a chance, but Alabama's going to try to run with UConn. And running with UConn when they have 10 deep of 10 quality players. They're going to run that out at Alabama. And I think the game will be close in the first half. I do. Just like most UConn games are. They're close in the first half, and then boom, away they go. Away they go. So, second game, I think 3/4 of the country are going to be rooting for NC State. I think 3/4 of the country are going to be rooting for NC State to win. Now, are they going to win? Probably not. I think Purdue is going to beat them. But I am rooting for NC State to win. I'm rooting for them to win. I just don't think they will. I think Purdue's got too much, and they'll be able to take down what NC State has done. The difference is I'm not sure that Burns is going to be able to do the stuff to Zach Edey that he's been doing to these other guys, because Zach Edey's got 7 inches on him. That's the difference. 7 inches. You know, it's one thing if a guy is 2 inches taller than you or something like that. Okay. But when somebody's got 7 inches on you, that makes a difference. I mean, think about it. That's like a 6'2" guy against a 6'9" guy. That's what we're talking about here. 6'7" versus 7'4". I mean, whew. It's going to be interesting. So, my man, Steven, he's mad. He says, I'm sleeping on Alabama. Nah, I don't think I'm sleeping on Alabama. Just Alabama's not as good as UConn. I mean, you don't have to sleep on Alabama to think somebody else is better. You can say that Alabama's a good team, and they are. So, but they're not as good as UConn. And it's just period, point blank. They're just not as good. They'll have to shoot a minimum 50% from 3 to win this game. Now, can they do that? Sure. Absolutely. But they're going to have to shoot 50% from 3 to win, because you know they're going to take a ton of threes. You better make half of them. And if you make half of them, you got a chance to win. But if you make 28, 29%, you're going to get blown out, because you're going to run with UConn. And UConn's going to run right with you. They're going to run right with you. Not to mention, Alabama doesn't guard anybody. That's the thing. Alabama doesn't defend. So if you're not going to defend UConn, what are you going to give up? You think you're going to outscore them by trying to give up 90 points? You're not. You're not going to do that. And I know that's Alabama's style to get up and down. I might try to change it. I just might. So, but we'll see. Question about the women. Darren Howard says, does Dawn Staley need the title for legacy? They're 72-0 in non-title games in the last 2 years. If they lose again, ouch. I mean, You could say that, but I don't think she necessarily needs it for legacy because, first of all, she's won 2 titles. That's number one. If she had never won a title, yeah, it'd be like the old Dean Smith. Remember Dean Smith with North Carolina all those years? They were so good all those years, but could never win. They could never win the title. And then finally they did. That was the same thing. But he has won the title. And I think that's what she has won the title. I think that's what the difference is. She's won 2. Now, does she need more to elevate herself? Absolutely. Absolutely. Because now Dawn Staley's got to start thinking about, okay, where do I land in the pecking order of coaches? Where does she land in the pecking order of coaches? And I think she's got to win. Look, I'm biased because I'm older, but first of all, I think Pat Summitt, the last 4 or 5 years that she was coaching, I think she was sick then. I think she was sick then, and she was just coaching through it. I think that's what happened. Matter of fact, I'm positive of it. But I have Pat Summitt at the top. No, she doesn't have the most titles, but she put women's basketball, she literally put it on her back and then put it on the map and then won 8 titles before she got sick and was forced to retire. So I have Pat Summitt number 1. Gino obviously is a very close second. And then where do you go? Tara Vanderveer at Stanford? Probably. Kim Mulkey? She comes after that. And then there's Dawn Staley. So if Dawn Staley wants to catch up, she's got to start winning some titles. She's got to start winning some titles. That would be my thing. Dawn got to win some titles. So I love what she's doing. But to get into that upper echelon of coaches, you got to start putting it together and winning titles. Which, again, she's an outstanding coach. There's no denying that. But got to start winning some titles. So if you're on TikTok, man, go ahead and share the live, man. We need to get some more people in here. Share the live and keep tapping the screen. We got to get some more people over here on TikTok. Not very many people in here. So if you don't mind, I would appreciate it if you did. Thank you. Thank you guys for the support. But yeah, I like Dawn Staley, but if she wants in that upper echelon, it is time to start winning some more titles. Got to do it. Got to do it. On the other side, look, Matt Painter, Purdue hadn't been to a Final Four since 1980. And they are trying to become just like Virginia did. Lose as a 1 seed to a 16 seed, and then the very next year win the title. Well, the difference is Virginia, the next year, was the best team in the country. They had the best team in the country. And I'm not sure. I mean, it was close, but they had the best team in the country the next year. Purdue doesn't have the best team. You know, UConn is the best team. I'm not saying Purdue's not good, because they are. But UConn is head and shoulders the best team in the country. Doesn't mean they're unbeatable, because they've been beaten and can be beaten again. But it's going to be tough. But I do think they handle NC State. I think they have what teams have not had against NC State. They've got a big guy that can negate Burns. They do. Edey can negate Burns. Heck, Kaufman, who's probably going to end up guarding him, Kaufman-Wren, he can negate Burns because he's just as tall. He's actually a little bit taller, and he's got some meat to him. Now, he's not 270, not 275, which Burns, he's listed at 275. We've seen him out there. DJ Burns is every bit of 300 pounds. Who are we kidding? Who are we kidding? He's every bit of 300 pounds. But Kaufman-Wren's a solid 250. Solid 250. Now, again, I'm biased because he's from my hometown. So I'm a little biased with Kaufman-Wren. So I want to see him do well. Having said that, I think he can handle Burn. Not handle. I think he can be physical enough with them and play defense on them to stop them. But we'll see. And maybe not stop them, maybe slow them down. That would be a better thing. Now, if NC State changes focus and they play guard-centric basketball, now that's where they got the advantage. Because NC State's guards are better than Purdue's guards. Guards and wings, they're better than Purdue's. And Purdue's, just like they did in the Elite Eight game, they will have a hard time keeping, DJ Horn. They'll have a hard time keeping the NC State guards in front of them. So that will be a huge difference on how this game is played. It'll make a big deal. It'll be a big deal. So we'll see what goes on from there. We will see exactly what happens from there. So I'm just going to appreciate the matchup on that side. Like I said, Alabama, I think, has got to change. It's crazy. You can't get all the way to the Final Four and then change up how you play. But if you're trying to win, I think you got to make some sort of adjustments, don't you? I think you do. And I think they do. If they're going to win, they got to make some adjustments. They can't just get in a running match with UConn or they're going to get blown out. Again, unless they shoot 50% from three. If they do that, they're going to be right there. Exactly, Chuck. You can't run with a team that is 10 deep. You're just not going to do it. You're not going to be able to sustain that and keep up. You're just not going to. It's going to cause you problems. So, but if they make a ton of shots, then there we have it. That's Alabama's opportunity. They got to make a ton of shots. If they do, boom, they can win. If they don't, it'll be trouble. It'll be trouble. My man Darren Howard, again over on YouTube, says NC State has been running on pure adrenaline. No rest. I think having a week off hurts them more than it helps them. I don't know. Sometimes when you run on all adrenaline, you need a rest at some point. You need a mental break. But I also think they're running into a much better team. Like Duke wasn't much better. I think Duke has better players. They weren't much better. Not to mention, does anybody think John Shire is a good coach at Duke? I mean, I had a guy tell me that John Shire was a top 15 college coach. I'm like, how the hell do you think that? What's he done to say that he's a top 15 coach? I mean, literally, last year, Duke was really good, underachieved all year. This year, they made the Elite Eight, but you look at their path. They beat a Houston team that was out one of the best players in the country who got hurt in the game. They didn't win an AACC. They didn't win the ACC tournament. I mean, Duke was a good team, but they weren't anything special. How the hell John Shire he's not a good coach, in my opinion. I'm not saying he's terrible, but he's not great. So, but I don't know. That's just my opinion. Just my opinion. We'll see what happens. I think NC State's got a chance. I really do think they have a chance, but I don't think they're winning this basketball game. I mean, because, look, they don't have anybody to guard Zach Edey. They don't have anybody to guard him. So the only thing that they could possibly do is go to a zone. Now, the difference is Purdue's got guys that can shoot the basketball. They do. So if you go to a zone, you better close out on the zone and make smart decisions because Purdue's got guys that can make shots. Now, you go to a zone and the guys from Purdue aren't making shots, NC State's got a chance. So NC State's got a chance. But we'll see. I'm just excited for all of it. Let me ask you guys this question. Is this the biggest women's tournament ever? And are you looking forward to the women's more than you are looking forward to the men's? Although I like the women's tournament, I am still looking forward to the men's more than I'm looking forward to the women's. Okay? That's not a knock on the women's game. That's not a knock on the women's Final Four. I'm looking forward to the UConn-Iowa game, and I will watch that. The first game I may or may not watch, NC State, South Carolina. I probably won't watch it. I'll probably tune in, check the score, and then move on. The second game I will more likely watch, but I'm going to watch both games on Saturday. I'm going to watch both games on Saturday. So that will be me. Hopefully that will be you too. So let's see. My man Ben. Biggest issue for Burns and NC State will be foul trouble. Yeah, interesting to see how the Burns on I don't think Burns is going to guard Edey because Burns is not a good defender. So I think he is probably going to guard Wren to try to keep him out of foul trouble. So I think Diarra is going to be the guy on Edey. It may not work. It may not work. We'll see. But I don't think you put Burns on Edey. That'd be a mistake. Because you're right. Foul trouble. My man, Pat Cockrell. Do you think Edey will shoot 20-plus free throws again? Maybe. Maybe. But here's the thing. NC State doesn't go that deep. You know, they don't have like 4 or 5 big men that they can just throw in there that are going to be effective. They got 3. So that's only 15 fouls. You can't, I mean, fouling him isn't going to be the answer. That's not the answer. Now, last game he shot free throws pretty well, and he's not the greatest free throw shooter, but I don't think fouling him is the answer. I think trying to limit his touches, which as hard as that is, I think that's the avenue. So that's the avenue. Now, here's an interesting comment, people. My man, Darren Howard, as a novice college basketball watcher, women and men is about even as for wanting to watch. But it's hard watching the girls other than the stars. Yeah. Yeah. Because some of the girls, or some of the women, I should say, they don't move at an elite pace like the other. You can tell the difference between elite players and women a lot more than you can in men as far as movement is concerned and what they can do on the court. The difference is a lot greater. It's a lot greater. But that's okay. We still like it. We still watch. So we still watch. 70% is not good. No, it's not great. 70% is not great. Shooting 70% from the line. I mean, that's not, it's average. And because if you're shooting 50%, that's terrible. So 70% is average. Average. Women's college softball is better than college baseball. I could go with that, Michael. I could go with that. So I could go with that. Let's see here. Let's move on. I like this next topic, man. And again, on TikTok, please continue to tap the screen. We got to try to get some more people in here. Share the live if you would. I would appreciate it. ESPN, do they need Caitlin Clark? Is she their cash cow for this tournament? I mean, I think she has been. You know, I think she has been part of what the reason that this has become so popular. She's a big reason why. So, yeah. Now, the conspiracy theorists are going to say, well, they're going to put her in the final game because they need her in the final game. And, okay, but UConn's better than Iowa. Now, will they beat them? I don't know. Caitlin Clark has another great game like she did against LSU. Iowa could beat anybody. But, yeah, UConn's better than them. They have better players. They have more players that are better. For instance, again, the same thing. Caitlin Clark might be the best player on the court, but here's the difference. Last week, Caitlin Clark, head and shoulders, before the game, she was head and shoulders better than everybody. That won't be the case with UConn. While you might say that Caitlin Clark is the best player, okay, I agree with that. This year, Paige Beckers is right there with her. She is absolutely right there with her. You can say Clark is better. I'll agree. She's had a better year. But it ain't like she's head and shoulders better than Paige Beckers. Because what I do know, if Beckers came out in the WNBA draft, she would be the second pick if she wasn't the first. So there's that. And then you go the next 5, now I would say the next 7 players, again, all UConn. All UConn. So we'll see. We will see. My man Eric says, no, she's not. Explain what are you talking about? No, she's not, Eric. But yeah, that's where the difference comes in. But again, if Caitlin Clark does her thing again, I mean, what are you going to do? Like, literally, what are you going to do? They're going to win. If she scores 41 with 12 assists, they're going to win. They're going to win. So we'll see what happens. We will see what happens. I'm interested in that game, but ESPN, I think they have just absolutely ridden this cash cow, and I think the Final Four is where that cash cow falls off. I think that's what they do. They've ridden as far as they can go, but now they're running up against something different. They're running up against something different. But would I be surprised if Iowa doesn't win the game or wins the game? No, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised at all. Not even the slightest bit. Not even the slightest bit. So, Paige is not nearly as good. She lost. She absolutely is good. You're not paying attention, man. Either that or you're just being biased. You can watch and see that she is just as good as Caitlin Clark. Come on, man. Don't do that. Don't do that. So it is what it is, though. If that's your opinion, that's your opinion. I respect it. But you don't say she's not nearly as good. Come on. Come on. What are we doing? What are we doing? Nobody said she was better than Clark, Ace. Nobody said that. I said she's close to being as good as her. And it's the truth. It's just the truth. You may not like that, and I know that upsets people, but it's the truth. It's the truth. Clark's open from the parking lot. Okay, that's great. But it still only counts for 3 points. So whether you shoot from 75 feet back or you shoot right at the 3-point line, they still only give you the same amount of points for the shot. So there's the difference. I get it. You can shoot further out, and yeah, that means a little more, and it's more flashy. But until they start giving you 4 and 5 points, if I can make all the shots from closer, I'll make them. So I'll make them. So she's different. She's definitely different. She's different. People can't take that away from her either. They definitely can't take that away from her. So I'm really looking forward to it. But I think ESPN, as far as anything, I think ESPN has done a great job of marketing, and they've also done a great job of doing their thing, of taking advantage of the ratings and milking the ratings for what they are. I think they've done a great job. I mean, hell, 12.3 million viewers watched Iowa versus LSU. I mean, it had more viewers than like the Big Ten football championship, the Big 12. I mean, it just dominated all these sporting events, the football games, like Thursday night football. I mean, it dominated football games. Who the hell would have ever said that? That a women's Elite 8 college basketball game would get more viewers than a Thursday night NFL game. And I don't care who's playing. Who in the world would have thought that? 3 years ago. Not 10, 20 years, 3 years ago. Who would have thought that was even a possibility for that to happen? So I don't know. I think ESPN's done a great job. I think ESPN's done a great job. I think they're taking advantage of the situation. Good for them. That's what they're supposed to do. I think they've done a great job. My man Jim says Caitlin needs to take the $5 million and play 3-on-3. Exactly for what reason would she need to do that? I mean, Ice Cube is looking for legitimacy. You're looking for legitimacy and you're inviting Caitlin Clark to come and play? Come on, man. It's a joke. It's an absolute joke. It's an absolute joke. And for them to offer that and then for the offer to get out is a slap in her face. To me, it's disrespectful. Because now there'll be people out there that say, well, she didn't take the money because she didn't think she can compete. Like, come on, man. She's not supposed to compete. That's why they have separate leagues. I mean, come on. Oh, my goodness. ESPN's been hyping Clark for almost 2 years. She has worked this into something special. She absolutely has. She absolutely has. So it's crazy. But I just like what ESPN, I like what they've both done, man. I like what they've both done. They're doing something special here. My man Darren Howard on YouTube, he says if anybody follows ESPN on social media, it's sickening how many Caitlin posts they are. But I can't unfollow because I need the news. I mean, I don't know. I don't mind. But I'm the type of person, if I get tired of something, I'll just stop watching it. Like, I mean, unless something new happens, I'll read the headline. If I'm not interested, I can move on. I don't have to go down the rabbit hole. I know a lot of people get sucked into the rabbit hole. I don't. I've never been that way. I don't get sucked down into the rabbit hole. So the Big Three is just a step up from the Harlem Globetrotters. No, because it's real basketball. So don't disrespect them that way. All I'm saying is if Ice Cube is looking for some real legitimacy, then first of all, I understand him offering that because he needs eyeballs, because clearly he needs eyeballs, because if he didn't and his league was already legitimate, he wouldn't be offering Caitlin Clark to come play in it. That's number one. So he needs the eyeballs, which as a business owner, you do what you're supposed to do, but then it turns into a sideshow. And I don't think he wants the sideshow. JP on TikTok, what's happening, man? So Ice Cube was serious. But maybe not. I don't know. That could be a good point. Maybe Ice Cube wasn't serious and it was just a publicity stunt, which to me, that makes it even worse. But you might be right. You might be right. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. So let's move on. Again, man, as always, 9 a.m. Central Time, Big B Daily, live on YouTube, live on TikTok. TikTok, keep tapping the screen. We got a little ways to go. We got to get to 5,000 likes and at least 30 follows. So if you're in here and you're not following, please give us a follow. We appreciate it, man. We appreciate it. And again, if you like what we're doing and you like the show and you want to support us any way that you can, like I mentioned before, please do so. There's a plethora of ways that you can do it. On YouTube, again, you can kind of control the conversation and you always get your question put up. All you have to do, there's super chats that are up there, but more importantly, like, follow, subscribe. Same thing on TikTok. TikTok, please like, follow, share the live. That's even more important so we can get as many people in here as possible. We appreciate you. And there's also a tip jar that's in the bio, so in my bio. So just click on that link. You'll see it. And also come subscribe over to YouTube. We appreciate you. We appreciate you. So thank you guys. Yes, we got an Instagram, Big B Sports Talk over on Instagram. We sure do. We sure do. Now, let's move on, man. Let's move on. So, the top 5 NFL cornerbacks of all time. Top 5 NFL quarterbacks of all time. This is my list. Don't be disrespectful. I won't be disrespectful to you. But this is who I got. Let's get the debate going. We'll start from 5 and we'll go to 1. 5 and we'll go to 1. Number 5. It's funny. Somebody said Champ and 4 others. Well, you're right. Because the 5th best corner of all time is Champ Bailey. Champ Bailey could cover, had decent size. I mean, he wasn't some behemoth out there, but he wasn't a little dude. He was physical as a corner because you know what? You know what I love my corners to do? That's tackle. That is tackle. I love for my corners to tackle. So Champ Bailey is number 5. I'm reading a list here over on TikTok. They said Revis, Sherman, Lott, Prime, Champ. I mean, Ronnie Lott was a really good corner. He was an all-pro corner before he was a safety. A lot of people don't know that. But Richard Sherman, stop it. Stop it. And that's not because Richard Sherman is a bad football player. I thought he was great. But top 5 corner ever? Come on, man. We got to be serious. Number 4, a lot of people, young people on TikTok are not even going to know who this guy is. But do your research. Mel Blount, number 4. Mel Blount, they literally changed the game because of Mel Blount. He was big. He was 6'2". He was physical. Mel Blount would be a damn near a linebacker today. He was that big. He was out there playing corner, shutting people down. They literally changed the rules for him. Mel Blount was so physical at the line of scrimmage, and they changed the rules that you can't hit guys after 5 yards down the field. They literally called it the Mel Blount rule. And then after they changed the rules, people thought, oh, he won't be any good anymore. Yeah, he went to 2 more Pro Bowls and got 2 more All-Pro teams. So it wasn't just him beating you up. The man could cover. He was an absolute beast. And if you're on YouTube, you can see the picture that we got put up. I mean, you can see it. The guy was, like I said, if Mel Blount was playing today, he'd be a linebacker. He'd be a Sam linebacker. He was that big out there playing corner. I love some of these lists that people are putting up there, and we'll get to them as soon as I get through mine. Number 3, Darrelle Revis. Look, of all the corners that are out there, nobody's had a 2009 season like Darrelle Revis had. The people that he shut down. Yes, shut down the top receivers in the league. He shut them down. T.O., Randy Moss, Hopkins. I mean, the list goes on and on. Shut them down. And look, I know a lot of people say, well, it was just 1 year. And it was. But after that, people just didn't throw his way. But as far as a top corner, all time, Darrelle Revis, number 3, you have to have him in there. You do. Number 2, a lot of people, again, a lot of young people don't realize that this guy was the best corner in the league, one of the best corners of all time. Number 2 on the list, Rod Woodson. Rod Woodson. Now, there's going to be some people that are going, hey, Rod Woodson was a safety. No, that was his second career. That was his second Hall of Fame career. His first one, he was a top corner. Rod Woodson. People forget that. First of all, Rod Woodson, he was big. He was fast. He was athletic. The guy was that guy. He was that guy. Now, there's a guy that's on YouTube, Sideshow 33. Again, I'm not going to say his name. I know him. I'm not going to say his name. But he was a pretty good corner himself back in the day. So he knows a little bit, But that's Rod Woodson was that dude. And again, a lot of people, they don't know. They don't get it. They don't understand. But he was that guy. He was that guy. So my man Sideshow said people out there throwing Sherman on there, and Sherman said that Sherman wasn't even better than Dale Carter. And people forget about how good Dale Carter is. That gets lost in translation because Dale Carter was crazy off the field. But when Dale Carter kept it together off the field, when he was on the field, absolute dog. Absolute dog. Him and James Hasty for the Chiefs, Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. That was back in the 90s. I know a lot of you don't know. The Chiefs, they had a dog defense. Lord have mercy. Neil Smith, Derek Thomas, Dale Carter, James Hasty. Oh, my God. Woo. Woo. You're right. Dale Carter was a pick six or a penalty because he was going to gamble. So, Rod Woodson from Indiana. He was from Indiana, from Fort Wayne. Fort Wayne. But yeah, Rod Woodson's definitely number 2 on this list. And then look, number 1, that's easy, is Deion. And here's what a lot of people, Deion gets a bad rap for not tackling. But that happened later on in his career. Early in Deion's career, Deion would hit you. He would tackle you. He was physical. Now, as he got a little older, he figured out, hey, man, I'm the best corner out here. I'm just not going to let these guys catch the ball. But I'm not going to, these running backs coming up trying to punish me when they get to the outside. Yeah, I'm going to make a business decision. But Deion, early in his career, he tackled you. He did. He was physical. But where Deion was also physical was at the line of scrimmage. And a lot of people, that goes unnoticed. Deion didn't let you win at the line of scrimmage. But the problem, another problem, I should say, is if you did win, he wasn't going to, and you got by him, he was going to catch up. Balls weren't just, okay, well, the ball was underthrown. No. Ball could be right on the money. He's just outrunning your receiver to the football. That was what he did. That's what he did. You know, you see a lot of corners, they get beat, and then they'll get a pick on an underthrown ball or a badly thrown ball, which, hey, that's part of the game. But when the ball's thrown on time and perfect, Deion just caught up. His recovery speed was impeccable. That's what made him the best. He was extremely physical at the line of scrimmage to get you on a jam, and a lot of times you didn't get off of it. But if you did, then what? You better hit him on a quick slant, because if you're going anything deeper than 10, 12 yards, he's catching up to your receiver. And that's why Deion was so good. Somebody put honorable mention, Charles Woodson. Yeah. Charles Woodson was so good that I actually think he was a better safety than he was a corner. And I think he's an outstanding corner. But I just think he was a better safety than corner. Yeah. And it's not that he wasn't a great corner, because he was. He was. Physical. He was physical. So, and you could have put Charles Woodson, but like I said, I think Woodson was a better safety because he didn't turn to being a safety like, oh, well, he got old and he had to move to safety. No, they moved him to safety because I think he was a better safety. You know, same thing with Ronnie Lott. Ronnie Lott, and I know a lot of people don't know, Ronnie Lott was an all-pro corner when he first came into the National Football League. All-pro corner. All-pro. Not, hey, he made a Pro Bowl. You know how Pro Bowls go. They just vote you in and put people in sometimes. No. He was an all-pro corner. And then they moved him to safety because, oh, this guy can tackle in the box. Oh, he can blow somebody's head off coming across the middle. Yeah, let's put this guy at free safety. But we're going to start him out at strong safety. What did he do at strong safety? All-pro. Then you move him to free safety, the greatest free safety to ever play. To me, he's the best safety ever. I know a lot of people say Ed Reed. No, Ed Reed wasn't a tackler like Ronnie Lott. Ed Reed was a ball hawk, but he wasn't a tackler like Ronnie Lott. And that, again, that's no shade thrown at Ed Reed. He just wasn't a tackler like that. He wasn't a tackler like that. You didn't fear going across the middle because Ed Reed was there. Now, you might fear because your quarterback is going to get the ball. He's going to throw a bad ball and he's going to pick it off. But as a receiver, yeah, I'll go in there on Ed Reed. You thought twice about going in there against Ronnie Lott because you knew what was coming. You knew what was coming. So, I like it. Aeneas Williams, yes, sir. A lot of good corners in the National Football League. A lot of good corners. But yeah, Aeneas Williams, absolutely. Darrell Green. Now, look, I'm biased. I know a lot of people throw Darrell Green out there. And I always say this. As far as speed, Darrell Green was the fastest corner. But if you ever pay attention to the highlights, isn't Darrell Green always chasing a guy down, tackling him? You know, like you don't just, oh man, Darrell Green just locked this guy up. No, he didn't do that. He was fast, but he wasn't just locking guys down. It's always catching somebody, which that's fine. But that's why I'm like, no, I don't have Darrell Green as far as the top corner ever. No, he didn't just lock guys down. And again, I'm not saying he was a bad corner. I'm just saying these other guys locked you up. They locked you up. And where Darrell Green excelled, he excelled because of his speed. So, always chasing. That's right. Always chasing. Never blanking at anybody. Never shutting anybody down. Always trying to catch somebody from behind, man. That was Darrell Green. But I like the list, man. I like this list. Again, I'll go over for anybody that just got in here. Top 5 corners in the NFL. Number 5, Champ Bailey. Number 4, Mel Blount. Number 3, Darrelle Revis. Number 2, Rod Woodson. And number 1, Deion Sanders. I like the list. Anybody's got some other lists, throw them out there. Let's see them. Throw them out there. So, and here's jealousy talking over here on TikTok or on YouTube. Darren Howard, not surprised, 40% of your list is Steelers. Is it my fault that the Steelers had 2 of the greatest corners of all time? Is that my fault? I mean, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? I've said this before to people, and I'll say it again so you guys understand. All right? I didn't choose to be a Steelers fan. All right? I didn't wake up one day and say, you know what? I'm going to root for the Steelers. No. That's not what happened. God chose me to be a Steelers fan. And it can be whatever God you are. Look, I'm not the most religious guy out there. I believe in God. So if you do, great. If you don't, great. Whatever. But God chose Steeler fans, okay? It's a burden being a Steelers fan, all right? I'm going to throw that out there. It is a burden to be a Steelers fan. God chose us. It's a big responsibility, people. It's a big responsibility. So I don't know what you want us to do other than, hey, it's tough. What do you want us to do? What do you want us to do? No, it's not like the same as a 49er fan. No, it's not. No, it's not. Stop it. The bottom line is the Steelers. God says, you're a Steelers fan. You're a Steelers fan. You're a Steelers fan. That's the burden we live with, people. That's the burden we live with. It's tough. It's tough. But, hey, somebody's got to do it. Somebody's got to. Look, my man Michael over here on TikTok saying, try being a Washington fan. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. So, it's in you. No, Diddy, stop it. Stop it. I'm trying. Look, y'all know that I'm old. I'm 48. Y'all know that I'm trying to be cool. I'm trying to be hip. I don't know if I can get down with no Diddy. I don't know if I can get down with no Diddy, people. Look, it took me a year to finally get into my vocabulary. Pause. Pause. And I like pause. I like pause. It's funny. It's fun. But it took me a year to get that down. Now you're telling me I got to change to no Diddy? What? Oh my God. Oh, I can't change like that. I can't change. I mean, first off, do you know I just got into my vocabulary glazing. Stop all that glazing. Stop all that meat riding. I just got that into my vocabulary. Okay? I just got it in there. And now I got to flip that and say no Diddy? I don't know. I'm going to try. So, we'll see what happens. I'm going to try. So, yeah. See, I live vicariously. One of my good friends, his son's in college, and he texts me all the time, and I live vicariously through him, the old college years. And he's all, that's all. Stop glazing, B. Oh, my gosh. All I did was say something nice about a guy. That's all I did. But apparently that's glazing these days to these youngsters. Okay. Yeah. You got your Riz. Yeah. I'm trying to get. Here's the thing. I've been married 20 years. Okay. I don't have Riz anymore, bro. I don't even try. Okay. My Riz game has been gone, long gone. So I don't think that's ever going to be in my vocabulary, man. I don't think it is. I don't think it's going to be in my vocabulary because I don't even want to have Riz. I don't even want to. I've been married almost 21 years. I am done. I give up. Oh, I couldn't imagine having to go out and try to start that again. Oh, my God. Now, don't get me wrong. I could do it. If push came to shove. I don't want to do it, though. I don't want to. No. Jiminy Christmas. I've seen what people have to do in these streets these days. I don't want to be in them streets. I do not. For instance, my wife is out of town at a bachelorette party this weekend. She's out of town. It's bachelor weekend here. Last night, first night, I'm like, yeah, buddy, let's do it. I was in bed at 8:30. Not only was I in bed at 8:30, I put my CPAP machine on. I don't even remember anything after 9 o'clock. And I woke up this morning. It is what it is. You know, I'm done. I don't want to be in these streets. See, here is people that I know that are in here. My boys from a long time ago. Sideshow 33 on YouTube. It's people like him that get me in trouble. He says he's on his way. Oh my God. I'm trying to stay out of these streets. See, it's people like that. Because look, I know I've seen mild-mannered and calm. But unfortunately, when I was in college, I was a little wild. I'll admit, I did some things. No, I didn't do anything that I'm not proud of. You know how people say, oh, you did something you're not proud of. No, I'm proud of everything I did. No, buddy. I don't regret nothing. I don't regret nothing that I did in college. And look, it was wild stuff, but I don't regret any of it. Because I wasn't getting in trouble. I wasn't out robbing anybody. But I don't regret nothing. I lived college to the fullest. Loved every second of it. But man, no, not high school. High school, I couldn't do anything. And I think that's why I was so wild in college. Because in high school, my mom taught at my high school. So, and my mom was a popular teacher because she used to talk to kids and how she taught. So I didn't do anything. I was a freshman and I played on the varsity basketball team as a freshman. I remember the first party that I went to, I didn't even do anything. I was just there. on Monday after school, my mom says, "So what'd you do at the party on Saturday?" I'm like, "I didn't do nothing." And then I thought to myself, how the hell does she even know? And if she knows that I did that, I go, I'm not doing anything. I go, because she's going to find out. If I do anything, she's going to find out. And my mom, oh my God. That's why I don't rob. That's why I don't steal today. It's not that I'm afraid I can't get away with it. It's because I'm afraid of what my 78-year-old mother would do to me right now. So that's my life. That's my life, man. That's my life. But yeah, no, I don't have no regrets on college. None. But I can't keep up with these kids and all the lingo today. I can't. I'm trying, but it's hard. Lord have mercy. I got to get my Riz game up. Come on, B. Where's that drip? Oh, stop glazing. Stop all that glazing. Stop the meat riding. Oh, all I said was the guy's a good player. That's literally all I said. You know how many lives I get on TikTok? Man, I like him. He's a good player. Oh, man, stop meat riding, B. Stop glazing. Oh. It's just, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. So, I appreciate everybody in here, man. Thank everybody for being in here today. And thank everybody for the support, man. We are a growing channel. We moved our time to 9 a.m. Central Time. Some people didn't make the move with us. Some did, and we love everybody who did. We picked up some people. We love that. The more people we have in here, the better, man. So tell your friends, tell your buddies, share live, subscribe, whatever you can do to help support us. We appreciate all of it, man. We're going to shut this one down for today. I just want to take a quick second to tell everybody thank you for the support. We're moving in the right direction. We're moving in the right direction. Sometimes it's fast, sometimes it's slow, depends on the day, depends on what's going on. But either way, we are going to bring this to you. I'm going to try to be as entertaining as possible. I'm also going to give you the truth. I believe in the truth when you're talking sports, man. I believe in the truth. So I appreciate everybody being here. I will holler at you guys on Monday. Good weekend, man. Pick wisely if you're picking this weekend. Pick wisely. UConn, Purdue on the men's side. UConn, South Carolina on the women's side. And I won't see you before the women's is over. I think UConn is a champion. I'll see you guys on Monday. Aloha.